Hi, this is Shane Starr, and on this wonderful sunny morning in bright Orange County, California, I decided to do one of the things that I think I do best, and that's complain about people. It's an idea I just came up with on my drive over here, and I thought, I have problems with everyone. So, what's my problems with each MBTI type? And I thought, that's an easy one. I probably don't even need notes for this one. I can just rattle them off. Nonetheless, I made a quick list just to make sure I don't repeat myself or miss anyone. So let's go. My problems with every MBTI type. Now, you may be the exception to the rule, and if you are, my apologies. But in general, these are my problems with people of every type, including my own. Okay, let's start with ESTPs. ESTPs I've known throughout my life they're always loud, they're always in your face, they're just too much, Here's one thing I can't stand about them. I'm a big texter. I like to write emails, I like to text. These guys hate writing. I don't know what it is about them. It's like, dude, let's just talk on the phone. I don't know why you write so much. I don't even read it. And it's like, one paragraph's like asking them to read War and Peace or something. They hate to read. They hate to write. They just want to talk. And then when they talk, they get kind of too close and they're loud. It's like, dude, I can hear you. Now, again, there's exceptions. I know one famous ESTP in the typology community, and he doesn't seem to be like that at all. Taylor Briggs. He seems to be pretty confident, self-assured, and not one of those types. But I think even Tyler would agree that a lot of ESTPs can be like that. Okay, next, ESFPs. These ones I can't stand most of the time, I have to admit. ESFPs, and I remember for a short time, I was typed by someone as an ESFP, and from the very beginning, I had problems with it. I tried to swallow it, and then after a while, it's just like, no one who knows me in real life thinks I'm this type. I'm done with this. So that didn't last long, thankfully. But these guys, they're all like bubbly, happy, just, everything's a pie with a cherry on top. Everything's wonderful. And, then they're clowns. And then suddenly they just snap to the other side and get all serious about something. It's like, who are you to talk to us about policy at work? You've been just gossiping, showing your Instagram. Now suddenly you want to be a decision maker. Like, it doesn't work like that. Like, these are the types that think anything's possible. Like no sacrifices. It's never a trade-off. It's always and both. Like, oh yeah, you could believe in God and be an atheist. You could be smart but kind of fun and dumb at the same time. Like, just whatever weird illogical thing they have going on. It's weird. It's not like they're ENTPs, but there's a little bit of overlap there, and that they play devil's advocate in a positive way, which is even more annoying than a negative devil's advocate. Let me give you an example from typology. I was talking to a former ESFP friend about, you cannot be an INFJ and be an 8 core in Enneagram. If you disagree with me and you're watching this, turn me off, whatever, I don't care. And he's like, well, actually, you could be, think of this. It's like, dude, I don't need your exception. Like, that's stupid. Like, if you want to put things together that don't work, do that on your own time. Like, I'm trying to build an internal system, something that makes sense in the real world and not like anything goes, unicorns style. So yeah, the ESFPs to me, they're just not stable enough. They jump around. They just think anything's possible. They think you can be the class clown and the top student at the same time. And I'm sure in some rare 1 out of 1,000 exception, you can be that, but it never lasts. You either move up and have to get more serious, or you don't move up and then you stay the class clown, you know? So that's my problem with the SFPs. ISTPs, my beloved son is an ISTP. And long story short, lazy, messy, non-caring, nonchalant, non-listening. Just kind of in one ear, out the other. You know, you could tell them, hey, we're going to win $1 million today. Huh? What happened? Like, just no matter how many times you tell them to do something, you have to tell them the next day, because the stuff will be on the floor right where you told them last time to move it. ISTPs are just chilled to a fault for me. It's like, I just like, come on, you know, work's part of life. That means at home as well as in the real world. Do something, you know, I don't care what it is, but do something. Don't just sit there. Okay, moving on. ISFPs. I've had some romantic connections that were ISFPs, and they started nice and sweet and ended horribly. And they're just too quiet, too impenetrable. It's no fun, you know. People don't like being asked if everything's okay, but put yourself on the other side of just sitting there going, is this person happy? Are they sad? Are they okay? Are they not okay? What, you know? And you never get an answer. You never get a real answer. Even if you force an answer out of them, it's still, you're still not sure, you know, because they'll just tell you what you want to hear to get rid of you. They are just very blank poker face. You never know. You know, they go along, they show up, you know, they're good like that. A lot of them are Enneagram 9s, I think. But that's cute at first, but after a while it wears on you. You get sick of, you know, are you happy? Are you sad? Do you want this to eat? Are you not hungry? Say something, you know. So that's my frustration with them. Moving on. ENTJs. Now, before I even go here, there's a YouTube person who's an ENTJ, LIE, Porcupine Jason. I do not see this trait in you, so you're exempt from this rule. But every other ENTJ I've ever known, my biggest problem with them is bragging. Like, they just don't shut up. Like, I did this, I could do that. I'm working on this right now. We're doing this project right now. Oh, over here, you know, on finances, we've gotten this percentage. It's like, okay, dude, you're God's gift. I get it. You know, you're amazing, wonderful. The rest of us are trash. Okay, you keep it up, keep going. They're just always talking about all the great things they're doing. I don't know if this has something to do with being, a lot of them are Enneagram 3s, even if they type themselves as something different. But they never shut up about what they're doing, you know, like what degree they're getting, what money they're making, what car they're looking at, what kind of watch they got. It never stops with 99% of them. And that's my problem with the ENTJs. ESTJs. Now, again, in socionics, I would probably be an ESTJ, but not in MBTI, okay? I'm not loud enough or pushy enough to be one of them. And this brings me to, you know, one of my lifelong best friends is an ESTJ. And this is what I can't stand about them. They think they know best about everything. No matter what subject you are, you could talk about gold and diamonds. Oh, well, you know, I could appraise this. Okay, let's talk about surfing. Oh, well, back in the day, I blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, let's talk about school. well, I got my degree. And there's a little bit of ENTJ-ness in there, but with them, it's more like they can proclaim to you what you need to do better, what you need to fix. They know it all. They have all the answers. They could tell you what's wrong with your relationship, how to do better in business. Why aren't you making more money? Get what you're worth. It's like, okay, dude, you send my resume out there. See if you can make me more money, Oh, well, I don't have time really, but, it's like in the little kid Winnie the Pooh videos, the ESTJ would be the owl, proclaiming, interpreting what the letters mean and telling everyone their part and stuff. It's like, they think they know everything. And if it's a subject they absolutely can't even fake it, they'll clam up and be like, this is nonsense, I don't want to talk about it. It's like, oh, it's because it's something you don't know, So that's my problem with the STJs. Okay, now to my own self-typed. I always say self-typed because all of us are basically self-typed, But, okay, so ISTJs. And I'm picking on myself here and some of the other ISTJs I've known. Just too picky, too many questions. They need too much direction. I can use myself as the best example, like at work. They tell me to do something. I'm saying, okay, do you want it here? Do you want it there? Do you want me to do this first, or do you want me to do this other thing first? When I do it, do you want me to do all the buildings or just this building, or do you want me to do a couple buildings and come back for feedback? And it drives people crazy. They're just like, just go, just do it, no more analyzing, no more questions. I think, there's always one more question before, I'm the guy at the end of the meeting and everyone's ready to go. Okay, any more questions? It's like, yeah, actually, and everyone's like, oh. It's just, as ISTJs, like, to not have, we need black and white. And when there's gray area, there's a chance whenever there's gray area, it seems like it's flipping a coin and heads is right and tails is wrong. There's a 50% chance you're going to get it wrong. It's like, you don't like leaving things up for chance. Like, well, I thought you probably meant this, so that's what I did. It's like, no, I didn't mean that. Well, why didn't you specify that? Like, we need specifics. We're not doing it to drive you crazy. It's because we need to know how things are done, or how you want things done in order to do them the right way. And that gives us anxiety to not know how to do something. Okay, but that gets on my own nerves. Like, I want to slap myself upside the head sometimes and say, like the Nike commercial, just do it, use your judgment. You're a big boy. You know the difference between right and wrong. Make up your own mind instead of asking for clarification all the time. Okay, moving on. ISFJs. A little bit of overlap here, but these are the over-conservative, over-cautious, not in the same way of the picky ISTJ asking a ton of questions. The ISFJs, they're just conservative to a fault. Like, well, we better not do that. We better not hose down the dirty yard because isn't it supposed to rain anyway? Or, well, if we put the tags on the cars, people will call and complain. Or, if we give this assignment, won't that be too much work? People will be upset. And it's just always that nagging, like just drags everyone down. Like, to me, a lot of people in the Winnie the Pooh things think of Piglet as a Enneagram 6 ISFJ maybe. In some ways, I would say almost yes, but there's a little bit of ISFJ even in Eeyore. Just always a downer. Like, always like, oh, isn't it too late? Or isn't it too early? Or are you sure we should do this? Are you sure we should wear that? It's just like, sometimes you gotta break eggs to make omelets. Actually, all the time. So anyway, yeah, that's my problem with ISFJs. Like if you have an ISFJ in the group, they're they're always going to be kind of a downer, at least in my experiences. And I shouldn't say always about anyone, but it just came out that way. Okay, moving on. INFPs. Short and sweet and to the point. These people are too opinionated. They think that morals and politics, things that are really personal preferences, they think they're black and white like mathematics. And newsflash, they're not. My favorite question to my INFP friends was, if your favorite politician, being sarcastic, says 2 + 2 is 4, is he lying? And that just grinds their gears. They can't process that. Like, well, if he says 2 + 2 is 4, there must be a trick because he's too stupid to know that. He would never say that because that's true, and he doesn't say anything that's true. Everything he says is bad. Like, they turn morals and personal preferences into black and white judgment calls, and it's wrong, and I can't stand that. That's my black and white judgment call against them. And then you can't change their minds about anything, going back to the political thing. Like, if they're a Democrat and our new president cured cancer, they would not give him a compliment. It wouldn't matter if they got $1 million check in the mail, they'd still vote against him in the next election. You cannot change their mind about anything, man. INFPs, and it's weird because they have extrovert intuition high in their stack. You would think they'd be more flexible, but in real life, they're not. They're just the most stubborn when it comes to morals. Like that's it, their way or it doesn't exist. And it's like, don't bother me with the facts. My mind's already made up. That's your INFP. Moving on, ENFPs. This is the roller coaster of the MBTI. I've been in some relationships with ENFPs recently, and there's just no rhyme or reason. Super happy and bubbly one minute, crying the next, back to happily bubbly the next. You can't keep up with their emotions, and there's no logic behind it. The crying and laughing can be in the same set of empirical circumstances, and you can't. It's like, why are you so happy? Why are you so sad? You can't get an answer because it's not based on logic. It's just they're like a kite with this. You let go of the string and it's just. It can be really fun at first, and then it's just too much, and you need to step off to get some peace. So yeah, that's your ENFPs. INFJs, and I don't know how much of a hot take this is. The INFJs who I really like and admire on YouTube, I don't know them well enough personally to extend this judgment to them, but the INFJs I've known in real life, I cannot stand their judgment in a bad way. Like, think of an unhealthy Enneagram 1. That's how your INFJs act. Like, very judgmental. Like if I said, look how nice I dress for work, they'd say, well, isn't that too formal? Like, they'd always have something negative to say, They're always trying to fix you. Like, the relationships I've had with INFJs, well, you know what you should do? You should do this, almost in ESTJ fashion, but ESTJ says it like it's about them showing everyone how smart they are. INFJs are doing it to change you. Like for the first couple days, they love and accept you who you are, and then right after that, man, they go to work on changing you. You need to do this, you need to do that, you need to grow your hair out, you need to quit wearing the tie, you need to get rid of half your clothes. I don't want to get rid of half my clothes. Well, you should. Well, why? I have room. It's just not appropriate. Like, you have too many for a guy. Let's just, whatever it is, they will judge you for it. Judge what you eat, judge what you say, judge what you wear. judge what you think. In INFP fashion, they'll judge you politically, INFJs, maybe it's that third slot TI, I don't know, but they're very judgmental on people. Gets on my nerves really bad. Moving on, INTJs. Easy take here too. They're very condescending. They're arrogant. They think they are above the rest of humanity. They give you, not in a boisterous way like the ESTJ or a judgmental way like the INFJ. These guys, the INTJs, they do it with that confident smirk, like, hey, look at my new suit. They'll go like, yeah, that's all right. But they're just like, they think they're better than you. And none of us like to be around someone who's looking down on us. And, that all those stereotypes, that there is a little bit of truth in them, whether you like it or not. The whole mastermind, they can lose their job and be, someone's divorcing them, and they'll still walk in the room just like with a little bit of attitude, like they're better than you. Just lack of humility completely. That's what bothers me about INTJs, and wannabe self-typed INTJs are just as bad, if not worse. Okay, moving on. ENTPs. These guys, I have a son who's an ENTP, and they're always looking for a shortcut, always looking for this next big win, always full of ideas that have little basis in reality. I mean, once in a while they work, and it's like, okay, good for you, but I'm not going to do it, ENTPs, they just have so much grand plans and grand ideas. It's like listening to someone on coke. It's like, dude, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. When I get all my money, I'm going to invest in these. And you're just sitting there going, they're building castles in the sky, right? And it's just like, okay, back on Earth, we need money for dinner, That's what bothers me about ENTPs. If you're in a good place, they're very entertaining. But if you're struggling and you're listening to them and their grand plans, when they're about to ask you to borrow money, you just want to dig your eyes out. It's like, dude, I thought you have all these great plans. Why do you need to borrow money from me then? That's my problem with ENTPs. And they can really be smart alecks, and their humor is really, they're an ESTP who doesn't have the muscle to back it up, basically. So they get you with words and impress you with their plans. All right, moving on. INTPs. I like INTPs, but to me, they're aliens. There's a little bit of overlap here with ISTPs, I think, in terms of laziness. I don't know that it's laziness, it's just inertia with them. So the thing that bothers me about INTPs, the stereotypes about them being smart seem to be true. They're so smart. So it's like, you're so smart, do something with it. You know computers so well. Why aren't you working at a big firm? You know typology so well. I'd love to see your channel. You know so much and can offer the world so much, but you sort of stay in the side, in the background. Like, sooner or later you got to come out, or your window will close. And so, this one doesn't get on my nerves as much as it makes me want to help or something, but I would like to see INTPs put their ideas in action more. I had an INTP professor back in grad school, and he was amazing. Like, the students loved him, and he kept saying he was going to write a book. And I keep looking for it at Yale Press. That's where we were, and I still never seen it, you know. And this guy was the smartest professor I probably ever had, and he never, even though he made it to professor at an Ivy League school, he still didn't reach his full potential. He should have been like a household name, and it never happened because he didn't have enough ambition, I think. And I think that's what INTPs need a little more of, is ambition. Get out of that Enneagram 5 shell and try to get some Enneagram 3 in you, I guess. Okay, moving on to the last two, ESFJs. This might be a hot take because when we think of ESFJs, we just think of the social butterflies and stuff. I've known some ESFJ males especially. They are like social bullies. You know what's ironic is you get ESTJ and an ESFJ in the same room. The ESFJ will be like the one in control, the leader, and we don't often think of them that way. But they're really like social bullies. They get in your face. They make decisions for the group. They're the barber who doesn't listen to how you want your hair cut, and they think they know what's best, so they're going to do it that way. I've been at work events and other events with ESFJs, and they're like, you know, I'm a vegetarian. They'll be, oh no, just try this. Come on, just try, you know, hey everyone, Shane isn't even gonna try this. Come on, tell him he's gotta do it, you know. Come on, we're gonna sing now. No, you too, come on, get up, we're all gonna sing. It's like, dude, leave me alone. Just get away. Like, let me sit. I'm happy right here to myself. I don't need to be part of the group. Like, leave me alone, please. That really gets on my nerves. With ESFJs. Social gatherings, it's the worst because they just want to be like the big host in control, and you know, they're just very controlling in a social. It's a weird thing. Like it's like black magic to me. I don't understand it. People just go along with them and get up, and it's like I refuse. Like I don't let the spell come over me, and so I don't do it. Next. ENFJs. These guys are great people, but in my experience with my ENFJ friends, they're too much, too fast, too excited. You know, they pile up plans like nothing. Hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. You know, for business, you know, we should start our business together and let's do this. And it's just like hearing their plans makes me tired. Even though we're sitting down talking about it, it's just too much. And like I work fast, you know, I work faster than most people, but this is one type where I have to ask them slow down because you're too much for me, you know, like, and they're so positive about it, you know, it's contagious in a way, but it's a turnoff to me. ENFJs, I don't want to hear about your new business on Amazon, selling product and how you're making all this money, kind of in ENTP fashion. ENFJs, they are a little bit more, they're a little bit more communicative about it, you know, like you can, even if the ENTP's more logical, actually the ENFJ seems like it's not as much a reach, but still it's like so much action and work and information. It's like you just want to like back off and just say, you know what, instead of looking for the next big thing like fast food gasoline coming to you or something, let's just find the closest store. Anyway, that's all I got for today. That's it. I'm out.